Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again. And a warm welcome to you, Dr. Verghese. Thank you so much. It is such an honor and privilege to be seated across from you today. I look forward to this next session as well with you. First of all, congratulations on the achievement that this book is. As Harita said, another New York Times bestseller, Oprah's 101st Book Club pick. Thank you so much for taking us through the genesis of the book. In fact, I have a few questions. You've covered a fair bit in your introduction, and I'm so grateful for that. I wanted to read a line from your book, which is one of your characters writes towards the end. This is the covenant of water, that they, people, are all linked inescapably by their acts of commission and omission, and no one stands alone. To me, that beautiful title, The Covenant of Water, spoke about relationships. Perhaps for each of us here, it meant something different. What did you hope to evoke in your readers through that title?
Yeah, so, I've always felt that titles should be slightly mysterious. You should not know quite what they mean until you come to a certain place in the book, and then, perhaps you think, oh, that's what it means. For example, Cutting for Stone, at one level it's a line in the Hippocratic Oath, I will not cut for stone. At another level, the family was called Stone, and there are a lot of surgeons in there. So, Covenant of Water, to be honest, I felt that I liked the word covenant. It's as simple as that. And water, because, you can't think Kerala without water. But even more than that, I think, we spend 9 months being formed in our mother's womb in water. We emerge, we are 2/3 water. Without water, we die. So, water is so important yet invisible in a funny sort of way. But in this story, water could be treacherous. Water, if you didn't keep your covenant to keep away from it, it could be something that drowns you. But to be quite honest, I don't really have the answer to what the title means. I actually have had questions from readers about Cutting for Stone, Covenant of Water, asking me, what exactly does it mean? And, the answer I always give must feel unsatisfying to them, but this is my theory. I think a writer provides the words, the reader provides their imagination, and somewhere in middle space, this fictional dream is formed. But it's in the reader's head, and it's absolutely unique to the reader. So, every one of us constructs faces based on the things we read. So that's why when you go to see the movie version of a book that you've liked, you're invariably disappointed because, I don't know, they cast Antonio Banderas in a role that you imagined for Amitabh Bachchan or something, So the same is true of the title. I think the title means whatever it means to the reader. I don't have the key, I don't have the interpretation. I've had the experience of, with Cutting for Stone, of people sending me master's thesis on how I have used myth and symbol in Cutting for Stone and all the archetypes that I had woven in. And I always think, wow, if only I was that intelligent, Because, my goal is very simple. It's just to tell a good story. And, but the person who sends me the thesis is not wrong. When that is how they choose to see it, God bless them. So I don't argue with anybody's interpretation. I know that's not a very satisfying answer, but I hope that does it. Okay.
I actually love how you have, borrowed very liberally from your own rich and diverse experiences, as you sort of gave us a preview, right from Tennessee to Texas, from Ethiopia to Madras, and now to the Kerala heartland. There are pieces of you in all of your writing. Another consistent standout is the role of the matriarch across all your books. You write about women coming from sort of limiting or limited circumstances who go on to overcome and show great resilience. And in this book, we have very endearing Big Amachi, who is introduced to us as this 12-year-old scared bride who goes on to become this towering force, this overseer of all of Parambil. And I'm sure it's no coincidence that your mother's name is Mariam and Big Amachi's name is Mariamma. Could you talk to us a little bit about those strong female and other influences in your life that perhaps have found their way into your writing?
I must say that I don't think I was consciously trying to create a strong female character in Cutting for Stone, but in this book, I think I really wanted to pay tribute to, especially my grandmothers. You know, both my grandmothers were, in their own way, heroic women that the world would never know about. So these were unheralded heroes. You know, they lived in their household, their compound, very rarely strayed from there. Both of them had encountered great tragedies. My grandmother in Manorama lost her 12-year-old son to typhoid. My grandmother in Manar lost her oldest son to rabies. He'd been bitten by a dog that wandered in as he was trying to protect the other kids, including my dad. And a month later, he got classic symptoms of encephalitis and so on. And my father remembers that. So, both these women had endured that kind of tragedy, and somehow they went on. Somehow they, got the kitchen fire going every morning, and somehow they got the rice going. And I think part of it was not just their strength, but the strength that they drew from their religion. It's the kind of thing that I'm envious of. I think our generation perhaps doesn't know that kind of unquestioning faith and sustenance you get from your faith. So I was in this novel trying to pay tribute to that, but I must say I wasn't doing that consciously. I think this very articulate explanation I just gave you is actually something Carrie helped me understand. And also, Oprah told me to keep paying attention to readers, to listen to what they're saying. And this is what came through, is this heroic women. What I was really trying to pay tribute to was the 12-year-old bride who somehow manages to make good. I wanted to capture some of the spirit of my grandmothers, but that's about it. I didn't really have a much larger intention than that, but it's very, very gratifying to see readers have all glommed in on Big Amachi. And I think that's just been wonderful to see. She is a strong character, somebody I admire, so thank you for asking me that question.